Hi everyone and welcome to the third project of this course. In this third project, we are going to be making a small chatbot just like before, but this is going to be a bit more complex. This chatbot is going to be generating a document for us and it's going to let us to download it at the end. So again, we'll be using Streamlit and we'll be making two different files. So let's begin by making a new file. So let me go ahead and do that. And let me name this as document generator.py. .py. So this is going to be where in the previous project we used something called Beautiful Soup to deal with HTML while web scraping. But this time we're going to use something called as docx to generate a document. So let's go to our terminal. Let me open a new terminal. And here I'm going to pip install docx and we can just wait for it to install. So as you can see, it has installed and now again I'm going to say pip install python docx. We let this to run as well. So it's going to install that. So now we are done with the prerequisites for this project as all the other requirements we have already installed through the previous projects as we need Streamlit, we need OpenAI and we need OS as well and .env also. So first let me go ahead and from OpenAI import OpenAI and then let me import docx. Okay, let me import OS first. Then I'm going to from docx import document. Now document is basically a function that lets us to build a document. So now what we are going to be doing is we are going to make sure that when we ask our LLM to make us a document, it should be able to completely make it from scratch without giving us like text and we having to put it into a file. Instead, it is itself going to make the file and make it so that we can download it. So I'm going to say client equals open AI API key equals os dot get env open AI API key. So again, one more thing that we can do here is from .env load .env. So we can do this for loading the .env, but we can use get.env, but we can also keep it just in case get.env doesn't work. So now I'm going to make a function called as generate document. And in that, there's going to be a topic, which is going to be in the form of a string. And then there's going to be a file name. And now again, this file name is also going to be a string. And we are going to set this directly to output dot docs. So this is going to be our the when we are done and when it's supposed to give us the ending, it's going to give it as output.docs for us to download. So now I'm going to make a prompt. Now this is going to be quite a lengthy prompt as it clearly tells how it should be structured. So I'm going to say format and now I'm going to say create a professional document on the topic. And now again, so how format works is by using curved brackets, it lets us to use any variable without the prompt considering it separately as text. So prompt. So after this, we're going to leave a line by saying /n and let me just put an inverted comma here. And next, we are going to make a new string called as rules and we're going to make after rules again slash n, so it leaves a line. Slash n basically makes sure that it goes to the next line. Now again, after this, let me put in a comma, or we don't, it's not compulsory to put a comma, but now let me say include a clear title slash n again. Let me close this before that. So now slash n. Then the next tool is going to be include proper sections, and then we're going to say include, or we can say each section should have a type heading and relevant content, and then again leave a line. Now we are making it structured like this as the LLM should receive proper and exact instructions, or it might go and make something creative by itself. But if it's given instructions like this properly, it will only follow this and we'll get exactly what we want. So now we can also say use neutral language and neutral and professional language or tone, and then again slash n. Now there's no need to give a comma after each string, so we can just directly continue. And now we're going to say format exactly. We can even make this capital. Now putting it capital will make sure that the LLM exactly follows it. Format exactly like this. Now again slash n. Now we're using slash n every time, so it receives the prompt separately. And now I'm going to say title. Then we're going to say slash n again. Then we're going to say dot dot. Then slash n two times. So it's going to leave some space, and then maybe we can say section 1, and then we can give another slash n. So now it's going to be completely repeated. So I'm going to skip to the part where I've filled it all in. Now, so basically all you're going to have to do is after section 1, heading, then slash n, and then the one more is going to be content, then slash n. Now this is going to be the base structure of each section, and maybe now to keep it more restrained, as we don't have proper way to make it, we're going to say include 5 sections. So if we say include proper sections, it won't have a proper way to structure it after the amount of times we've given. So if we only give structuring till section 5, it's going to stop there instead of continuing how it's supposed to be. So when we're asking the user as well, we can specify that this is going to have 5 sections. So this is going to be the base structure that we're going to use. Now, again, next we can go ahead and do the same thing. Just copy and paste until section 5. So I'll skip to that part. So as you can see, I have filled in for section 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So yeah, this is basically the going to be the main structure. Now there's many ways to make this shorter and not this lengthy, but I suggest keeping it like this so that the prompt is more clear and we don't get varying answers and we get proper on the point answers from the LLM. So the more structured and more clear it is, the better that it will be for the LLM itself. So now let's close this. here and let's move on. So now we're going to continue in this and I'm going to say response. Response is going to be now just like before how we did with client dot chat completions, we're going to repeat that and we're going to set a mod. We're going to say client dot chat dot completions dot create and model we can set it to 4o mini this time, GPT 4o mini, and then this is going to be the messages. So it's the role it's going to be is user and the content is going to be the prompt and this is the whole prompt. So user meaning it's going to take input from the user. And after this, let's also set a temperature and let's set it to around zero point 0.3 or zero point 0.2. So it's more professional than usual because that's how we're going to need it for this exact project. So next I'm going to say content is equal to response dot choices. As I said, the response dot choices, then square bracket 0 dot message dot content. So basically, what this does is it filters out all the unnecessary information and it only gives us the direct answer because when an LLM provides an answer, and that to OpenAI particularly, it's going to be giving unnecessary things like the path, the tokens that we've used, and more like the characters that are used, how many tokens were used at the starting, and how many were used for spaces, and etc. etc. And all stuff that we don't need. Now, using it like this will only give us the final answer, which is going to be the content for the document. And then next I'm going to say write docs content and file name. So file name has been specified here as output.docs and the content has been specified here. Now write docs isn't specified or it isn't defined yet. It's going to say write docs isn't defined because that is going to be a separate function that we're going to make here. Now we're going to make it so that when we use this function, it will directly call this function as well. So we'll create next function in the next video and let's also continue with the second file in the next video. I'll see you then.